The proposed memorial project was a pretty straightforward concept. No taxpayer dollars would be used. We would raise the funds privately to restore it and make it national. It was existing property on the National Mall. Yet, there were still people who had problems with that.
I would like to not only thank him for his service to his country, but also for joining us here today in an effort to establish a World War I memorial for all of our nation's veterans on our National Mall. Having said that, there's also competing legislation.
We rolled Frank into the room, and there was this sea of VFW caps on one side of the room. They're not to support Frank Buckles, but to basically be against him. And what I saw that entire time was not what was going on in Senate, but my mind was reflecting on what was going on earlier that day and the physical struggle it was for Frank to get to Washington, D.C.
Mr. Buckles, the floor is yours.
You want to go ahead and tell them what you think.
I think it's really important that we have this memorial. I recognize there are others that have their views, but this is Washington, D.C.
It is somewhat uncomfortable testifying in opposition to some folk with whom I agree about 99% of the time.
Okay, does his color look all right? His lips look okay?
This is a national monument.
Do you feel like you're getting enough oxygen?
We hope that you would see fit to give the people of Kansas City the opportunity to continue to spend their own money.
The nurse from the VA was looking at him and said, well, his lips are just a tad blue.
I have with me a resolution that was passed unanimously by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, as well as a letter of support from the American Legion and its members. Our request is simply to recognize the Liberty Memorial as the nation's official World War I memorial.
Mr. Alexander, in your opinion, is it important that there be one recognized National World War I memorial, or are multiple memorials in different parts of the country appropriate?
We have been, in essence, we've been acting as a de facto national memorial for 80-some years, and we hope that we can continue doing that in Kansas City.
So don't forget to breathe, deep breathing.
So we believe that Congress would diminish the sacrifice of Frank Buckles and almost 5 million other Americans in World War I, including 116,000 dead, if it did not honor them on the Mall in the same manner as the veterans of the wars that followed. And we ask the Senate to pass S-2097. And thank you for the opportunity to testify today.
I think it's an excellent idea. And I think it was a nice idea to call it a national and not just the D.C.